wonderful way. It's chock full of personal illustrations. Brother Wood, the souls that he's led to Christ, and it's just a tremendous resource. But I want to encourage you, go back and maybe there's not a regular soul winning group in your church right now. I would encourage you, go to your pastor, say, Pastor, would you mind if I meet with a lady or two, if they're willing to go? And you say, what do you do? Just go pick a street, get a map, get you a highlighter, and just go down the street, door to door. 24 years ago, 2 Sundays ago, when God brought us here, I started on Beasley Street, just went down the street and knocked on doors. And just kept knocking on doors and kept knocking on doors, and that's what we've been doing all these years. You say, well, you can't do that anymore. Well, don't tell me any different. We don't know any different around here, so don't tell us. It doesn't work because it's a biblical method. And by the way, if it works or not is not the point. It is a command, isn't it? And our great motivation for being a personal soul winner is to say, Lord, I want to please you and I want to obey you. Now, I believe if you throw enough seed out, you're going to bear some fruit somewhere along the line. And you can certainly learn to be a better fisherman as you go along. But the point is this, it is what God wants us to do. It's His heartbeat. He came to seek and to save that which is lost. So I hope you'll get a couple of these resources and use them in your personal life and encourage some others. And let's get back at it. Okay? All righty. Mm-hmm.
Brother Jerry Ross and his bus calling partner are visiting their church bus route in Chicago. Lydia's family had recently moved to Chicago from Mexico. The first Sunday Lydia came to church, she trusted Christ as her Savior, began to grow quickly as a Christian, and began to ride the bus faithful to church.
Hey, Lydia.
Hey, Brother Jerry. I was just working on some algebra homework. Can you help me with it? Because I'm struggling with number 5.
Senorita. Okay, I'll help you with your algebra if you'll help me with my Spanish.
Oh, Brother Jerry, guess what? I was able to finish reading my Bible through in a year, just like you told me to.
That's fantastic, Lydia. I'm so proud of you. I just know the Lord has something very special planned for your life.
I think I know what that plan might be.
Oh, really? What do you think it is?
I want to become a missionary back home in Mexico because I have a lot of lost family members there, and I just want to give them the same opportunity that God gave me.
That sounds like a great plan, Lydia, and I just know the Lord's going to honor your desire. Just stay faithful to church and reading your Bible, and I know He'll lead you down the right path. Well, let's get back to that algebra.
Oh, yeah, it was this one.
After a few months, Lydia moved off of Brother Jerry's bus route to another neighborhood, but fortunately, another bus captain, Brother Rich, was able to pick her up to attend the same church. A few more months went by, and her new bus captain noticed some changes in Lydia's attitude. Her happy countenance had fallen. Something was not right. Brother Rich called Brother Jerry and asked if he could go visit her and maybe even get her to open up.
Hey, Lydia. It's been so long since I've seen you. How is everything?
All right, I guess.
Are your parents doing okay?
Fine.
And your sisters?
They're okay.
Are there any problems with the gangs?
No.
Lydia, look at me. Is there something you need to talk to me about? If not, I can bring Miss Cheryl.
I know you're just here to lecture me.
Lecture you about what? It's a guy, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about him.
A few months ago, I got a job at the food mart at the end of the block. He started hanging around, and he actually talked to me. And he's nice and funny. I really like him. Maybe even love him.
Does he go to church?
Sometimes.
Is he saved?
I don't know.
Well, then what are you thinking? Saved people aren't supposed to date unsaved people. What about your plans of being a missionary?
Brother Jerry, I know what's right for me, and I want to please the Lord, but I have feelings too.
I don't know what to say. Just promise me you won't do anything foolish. Let me think and pray about it for a week.
Okay.
For a whole week, Brother Jerry fasted, prayed, and thought. The following Saturday, he made his way to Lydia's house, praying that he could make a difference. When Lydia invited him in, they sat down, and he began to tell her a not-so-make-believe story.
Once upon a time, there was a princess who lived in a beautiful palace overlooking a village. She lived in the castle with her loving father, the king, and a handful of faithful servants. She blossomed into a beautiful teenage girl, quick-witted, full of laughter, and always obedient, yet increasingly lonely. Often, late at night, she would gaze from the window of her room high in the castle wall, watching the people in the village streets as they laughed and danced. She thought they must be the happiest people in the kingdom. One evening, the princess and her father were talking and studying the book of lessons in preparation for her future.
Father, do you think that one evening I might be allowed to go to one of the festivals at the village, even if it's just for a little while?
Oh, my child. The village down below it's a worldly place and full of sad people. The merriment that you hear and all the noise, that's just their attempt at drowning out the emptiness in their lives. I think it's best if you just stayed in the castle.
But Father, how will I ever meet someday I would like to... Father, you are so good to me, but at times I just feel so lonely.
I guess it's probably time that I told you.
Tell me what?
Well, Princess, not long after you were born, I began to search the whole kingdom, looking for, that special someone for you. Well, I believe I found him.
Father, where does he live and when do I get to meet him?
Whoa, slow down now. Look, he lives far away in a castle much like this one. He is being prepared for you like we're trying to prepare you for him. You see, Princess, you have to remember you are royalty, and he also is of royal descent. Just be patient, prepare, and stay in the castle.
Yes, Father.
Two years passed, and the dream of the promised prince became harder to envision. The night sounds of laughter from the village began working their way again, slowly, into her thoughts. One morning, during breakfast in the royal kitchen, a knock was heard at the back door, where deliveries from the village were made. When no servants responded, she decided to answer the door herself.
Come in.
Hello. Delivery for His Royal Highness the King. Are you the princess?
Yes, my name is Liana.
I'm Frederick. It's nice to meet you. I had heard that the king had a daughter, but no one had ever told me how beautiful she was.
Thank you.
Have you ever been to the village?
No.
Well, you should come sometime. You'd get to meet people your age and enjoy wonderful parties.
Well, please, go on. Tell me more about the village.
Listen, you should come this very night. The fall festival begins.
Well, I don't believe my father would allow me to attend.
Why don't you just sneak out? Meet me at the bridge this side of the village, okay?
Perhaps, but I can't promise.
I'll meet you there.
That evening, Princess Leanna sat with her father, reading aloud from the book of lessons, pretending to be listening, but she was measuring the diminishing light from the setting sun.
Leanna, you see, the book of lessons tells us right here, my son, if, of course that means daughter as well, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. What do you make of that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Where are we?
Leanna, you seem very distant tonight. Is everything okay?
No. Yes. I think I'm just tired. Maybe I should go to bed early tonight.
Is there anything that we need to talk about? Can
No,
I help
really.
with anything?
No, really, I'm fine. Good night. Oh, by the way, somebody left a package for you today.
Thank you, Princess.
"2 hours later, when it appeared all in the castle were sleeping, the princess stole out of the kitchen door and disappeared into the night.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I told you, man. I
No.
knew. It was from the very beginning.
No.
I just knew it was gonna be
Okay, so wait,
fantastic.
so why are we here?
She's meeting us here.
Who's she?
told me.
The princess.
Yo, I don't believe it. You're lying.
I bet you all this money she's not gonna come.
I bet. I'm just telling you. It's gonna be great. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
And then that one too. You get it.
Guys, it's the princess. She's so gorgeous.
Oh, please, just call me Leanna.
Leanna, you really did come. I'm so happy.
Let's go, everybody. The music and lights are calling us.
Yeah.
Come on, I want to get some Turkish delight.
This is so exciting. Can't wait to show you the nightlife.
And you have got to try the rum. We can drink the night away.
Hey, and just wait until we start dancing. You can really let it out go.
And we have to take you to the gambling hall, and you can use my lucky dice.
And the music is the best thing. The beat will carry you away.
Leanna, are you ready? You seem to be hesitating a little bit.
No, I think I'm ready now. Let's go have some fun.
For several months, the princess wrestled with how to approach her father about her decision to leave the castle. One afternoon, she gathered her courage and marched into the great room.
Father,
Yes.
I have something to tell you. I have met a young man, and,
You've left the castle, haven't you?
well, I know I shouldn't have gone without your permission, but we are to be married right away.
Princess, the castle, it's never been a prison, but it is a decision. You see, my dreams for you are much better than what the village has to offer you. You know, my love will never change for you, but if you leave here, everything else will.
But only I can truly know how I feel. He may not be royalty, but I love him.
One year from the day of her departure from the castle, Leanna, expecting their first child, was sweeping the porch of her small shack in the village while her drunken husband was sleeping late again. Out in the distance, she suddenly heard the swift gallop of a horse. She looked up the path to her father's castle and watches the scene unfold. The rider of the horse rode faster as he neared the castle.
I am here to see the king.
This way, please. Your Highness, a very special guest is here for you. It is the royal prince.
Rise, rise, my son.
Your Highness, I am here to claim the princess.
I've been trying to come up with the best way, but there's no good way to tell you this. Not long ago, the princess, the one that you've been preparing for, left and has found another. She's not to be yours.
What do you mean? I don't understand. I've been waiting and preparing for this my entire life.
As have we. I'm sorry.
Oh, do you have to do that right now? I'm trying to sleep.
Frederick, the landlord came by again this morning. He said we're now 3 weeks behind in the rent.
That fool! I told him to stay away from here.
I wish you would just get a job.
I've been trying, haven't I? Nobody will hire me.
Frederick, we have to think about our child. Is this what you want her to see you as? Is this what you want for her?
Why'd you ever choose me if all you're gonna do is complain? I'm going to town.
After telling this story to Lydia, Brother Jerry left the ghetto apartment wondering if he had done any good. 1 week later, Lydia found Brother Jerry outside the church on a Sunday morning. Her smile was back.
Man, what a great day on the route. That family came for the first time, all of them. It was awesome. Hey, Lydia.
Hey, Brother Jerry.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing better.
That's great. I've been praying for you.
Oh, Brother Jerry, I just wanted to say thank you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
After finding his seat at church, he unfolded the paper and read with joy.
Dear Brother Jerry, I have decided to stay in the castle. Lydia.
life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to Thee. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of Thy love, at the impulse of Thy love.
Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for Thee. Take my voice and let me sing, always only for my King, always only for my King. Take my silver and my gold, not a mite would I withhold. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my will and make it Thine, it shall be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is Thine own, it shall be Thy royal throne. It shall be Thy royal throne.
Take my life and let it be
Always only for my King.
I think we need a sweeping rededication to purity. I think you young ladies that have never been married, you need to make a commitment to stay pure until the day you say I do. I think that moms today need to commit to make that a very important part and to guide them and to hold the reins on them. I think we've all gotten swept up in this that, well, whatever. I think grandmas do too, to help these grandkids. If it wasn't for my mom sitting over here, she pushed purity. She didn't have a mom that did that to her, but she decided for me. And she held those reins, and she encouraged me. And many a time, one time I had a situation at school. A boy, I went to public school, and he was pursuing me. I didn't want to go with him, but I just politely turned him down. What made him mad, so in my homeroom class, he just humiliated me in front of everybody. And he just smarted off and said, "You've probably never even kissed a boy before." Well, of course, it ruined my whole day. I went home, and I was sad, and she knew something wasn't right. And I told her what happened, and she stood up from her chair and gave me a standing ovation. That's all I needed. And she fought for it. She fought and made it always a priority. And I think moms, we've got to do that. It's a fight. It's a battle probably stronger than it's ever been. And I think also that those that are widowed or divorced, you also need to make a recommitment, because intimacy outside of those marriage bounds is still biblically wrong. And I think that we need a rededication there as well. I think in a society, in the social media, we need to, all of us, to stay in the castle with our viewing and with our thoughts on these things. And so right now the kids are going to sing again. And if you in your seat or make an altar out of your chair or even want to come forward and make that commitment to help your children, grandchildren, if you're a teacher, to instill that purity, stay in the castle. Don't miss it. All right. If you would like to make an altar there at your seat, it'd be great. Or come up here. We'd love that.
Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to Thee. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of Thy love. At the impulse of Thy love.
Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for Thee. Take my voice and let me sing, always only for my King. Always only for my King. Take my silver and my gold, not a mite would I withhold. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my will and make it Thine. It shall be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is Thine own. It shall be Thy royal throne. It shall be Thy royal throne.
Take my life and let it be always only for my King. Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to Thee. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of Thy love. At the impulse of Thy love.
Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for Thee. Take my voice and let me sing, always only for my King. Always only for my King. Take my silver and my gold, not a mite would I withhold. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my will and make it Thine. It shall be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is Thine own. It shall be Thy royal throne. It shall be Thy royal throne.
Take my life and let it be
Always only
It's called Stay in the Castle, and it is the best book at our school. Every few years, I have the girls read it, and they'll get bonus points if their mom or dad reads it with them. So, but it's a great little booklet to give out. It's easy, it's small, but this is it was written. The story with the bus captain with the bus kid, that's a true story. In fact, the bus girl grew up, and we support her as a missionary in Mexico today. So Lydia, Mike Lemma, she married we were in college with him, and so that's quite a story, isn't it? All right, so we have one last. We want to end on a happy note, huh? That was a happy note. But we have a little something for you to end the night. I will let you know, we changed it this year. We're seeing how it works. So your teenage girls, they can come in here in the morning again like we did this afternoon. So bring your girls in. 9 o'clock we start in the morning. Now the book tables and things will be open till 9:30. Well, a little later because we're late, okay? Are you going to fire me? Okay. All right. So thank you all for coming. I'm excited. Tomorrow's good too. And we love y'all. Have a good night after this.